Alrighty, welcome everybody back to the channel. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is David. I also go by MillerFootball, and today we're going to be doing a film breakdown. I'm going to try to keep this intro brief. Usually we do a lot of theatrics going into the video, but truthfully, this is pretty straightforward. I wanted to make a second film breakdown in addition to my more formal, long film breakdown that I'm going to do a little bit later in the week. Just because, I didn't do anything last week, and I figured I should make it up to you all, but also, I wanted an excuse to talk about Khalil Mack, because Khalil Mack is one of my favorite players in the National Football League. As a Bears fan, I miss him dearly, and he had a pretty damn solid performance against the Arizona Cardinals, all things considered. That defense in LA did not have a great game as a whole, but Mack certainly stood out, made some pretty impactful plays, so I figured I'd give him his flowers here. I'm all about giving guys I'm a fan of their flowers. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump into this. Starting off with a play early in the game. This is the first quarter. We've got Khalil Mack lined up as a wide 9 out here on the right side. He's a wide 9 because he's lined up outside the tight end here, just in case you weren't aware. And we'll go ahead, let this play start to play out. Mack's going to get a really nice jump start here by lining up out so wide. That's the advantage of lining up as a wide 9 if you were unaware. But right here, right away, you see what the plan of attack is going to be. You've got a lot of green grass right here. Mack, being a veteran, he knows his way around this league. He's going to see that pretty quickly as well. How do you attack this green grass? Well, you go for the inside shoulder of the tackle. Because Mack has this momentum, has this speed build up, he's going to play this tackle wide so he can cut back inside. And you're going to see right here, that's exactly what he's going to do. He gets in line with them. You see, he puts the hand on the inside shoulder here, and then he's going to bring his arm up over top, pull off a nice little swim move. That's going to get him into the backfield. Kyler sees Mack coming. He knows he's got to deliver this ball. He sees a tight end on an out-breaking route here that he's going to try to hit, and Mack's going to say, nope, that's not going to happen. Gets his hand up, swats that ball to the ground. All of a sudden, that is an incomplete pass. The old man, 33-year-old Khalil Mack, using speed, instincts, and just football IQ and awareness to completely wreck this play by himself. Just awesome, awesome stuff from the old buck out there running around doing his thing. As we all know about Khalil Mack, he's not just a great pass rusher, he's also a tremendous run defender, and that's exactly what we're going to see an example of here. So they're going to run this ball to Mack's side. He's lined up here on the left. He's going to do a great job of first playing his gap and then maintaining that discipline, firing his eyes into the backfield to try to see what Connor's going to do. And then he's very decisive in his decision-making in order to make a play on the ball carrier to get himself in good position. So we'll go ahead and let this run here. So right away, playing this gap to the outside, eyes in the backfield. He's got his hand in the chest of the tackle. That means that he's winning this matchup, right? With your hand in the chest, it's really hard for that tackle to get his hands on you and to make a cohesive block to do his job, especially when you're built like a brick shithouse and are one of the stronger defensive ends in the league. I know Mack's a little old. I'm going to make fun of his age all throughout this video because, you know what, Unc still got it, right? But either way, even though he's old, he's still strong. He relies on that strength. That strength lets him win. So you'll see here, once he realizes where Connor's cutting, he's going to set his feet, or set his outside foot. His inside foot is a little less perfectly set, at least in this frame. And that's going to allow him to redirect the momentum he's built up here and move this tackle so he can get inside and make a play. You see, he goes across the lineman, and he's going to put himself in perfect position because Connor is cutting through this gap. He thinks he has a lane. Mack's about to jump in there and say, nope, sorry, bud, you're stopping right here. This is your destination. He's going to get low, plays Connor well, and that's going to allow Henley, and I believe this is T.R. Tart, to come in and close in on the back, cover up Connor. Now, of course, because it's James Conner, he's going to get an extra yard out of it, but that's still, stopping it for like a 1, maybe 2-yard gain. Just watching that back in full time, that's an awesome move by Mack to be able to get across the lineman and make a play and run defense like that. All right, here we have one of the most entertaining plays of the year. If you watch this game, you know what I'm referring to. We've got Mack on the outside, and a lot of things are about to happen, and Mack is the reason they happen. He is the catalyst. We've got him lined up on the outside shoulder of the tight end. He's going to cut across inside. He's got a 2v1 situation, so he's going to take on this guard and drive him back into Kyler. He's going to do a great job of getting that push, hands in the chest, straight up bull rush. He's driving this back. Kyler's starting to panic. Finally, he sees James Conner sitting here underneath. He's like, oh, okay, I got my security blanket. We're fine. I'm going to dump this off. Khalil Mack says, nope, you're not. Tips his ball up, deflects it. It ends up getting caught by Tier Tart, who, if I can get the right angle here, like, this is the funniest catch of all time. He's catching this ball with his wrists right now. Like, this guy has no idea how to catch a football. He's never had a football in his hand before in his life. If you told me that, I'd believe it. But either way, he hauls this in. He goes, oh, fuck. All right, I'm going to run now. And, of course, James Conner hawks him down. Ball gets recovered by the Cardinals. Cardinals ball again. They lose like 20 yards or whatever. But regardless, none of that happens, because when that happened in the moment, it was incredible. None of that happens without Khalil Mack bull rushing the fuck out of this guard and swatting this ball at the line. So shout out to Khalil Mack for being the catalyst behind, I would say, play of the year. I think this is going to go down as play of the year pretty easily. All right, we got another run defense rep here. We've got Mack lined up as a wide 9 on the left side of your screen. Horrible circle, but you know where he's at. You saw the yellow. You get the point. But regardless, this is one of those plays where Mack himself isn't going to make the play, but he's going to set people up to make a play. And in my book, that's just as important, right? Even if you don't get the stats, even if you're not showing up in the box score for making a play, if you have a positive impact on a play, that's commendable. That's worth talking about. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So you'll see Mack, he kind of pussyfoots with the tight end here a little bit. Because, he can't tell. The tight end fakes as if he's going to block Mack and then ends up going to the second level to take care of the linebacker there. So because of that, Mack, plays patty cake with him. Tight end moves. He's like, oh, okay, bet. I'm going to go light your fucking guard up. We've got a guy pulling here, fellow with the long hair. I think it's a guard. I don't know. The Cardinals' offensive line is bad, and everyone switches out every 5 minutes. I forget who's who sometimes. But regardless, this fellow with the long hair, that's who Mack's about to take on. And you see, they've locked eyes at this point, right? They know some shit's about to go down. Now it's just a matter of who can beat who. And Khalil Mack, being the veteran, the talented, smart veteran he is, he says, all right, I'm going low. Fuck you. He gets lower than the lineman, stands his ass up, and all of a sudden, you wanted to run up the middle? No, that's not happening. Khalil Mack said no. That gap is completely closed, which is going to force James Conner to bounce this outside. In the mind of Mack, he's thinking, okay, I closed off the middle. Now he's going to bounce it to the outside. I'm going to try to make a play here. If I can't make the play or at least slow him down, then surely someone's going to come in from the second level and clean up, right? That's the thought process here. So Mack's going to try for the arm tackle. It's James Conner. You're not going to arm tackle James Conner. Still a valiant effort. So now he's thinking in his head right now while he's falling, he's like, well, fuck, I didn't do it, but I set up somebody else to do it. Kind of. Conner still gets a nice run because Derwin James did whatever the fuck that was. I don't know what that was at all. Derwin, be better. But still, they don't allow a first down. You get a lot of Charger bodies here that are able to prevent the first down. So that's something. His work didn't go to waste per se. But it still sucks to see Mack make an awesome play like that to completely remove a rushing lane and set up somebody to clean up, and then for nobody to come in and clean up. All right, this play is hilarious because you're going to see Khalil Mack in all of his olden glory try to chase down Kyler Murray. And he's going to do a hell of a job with it. So we'll go ahead, let this roll. You see the Chargers are showing a blitz. This tackle over here, Beachum, seems like he's about quaking in his boots because of it. Kyler gets the snap. Also, it just occurred to me, 72 wasn't a guard, he was a center. The fellow with the long hair, that was a center. So, my apologies for misidentifying his position if any Cardinals fans are watching. But regardless, you see Mack, he's just going to go around Kelvin Beachum. He's like, buddy, get out of your stance quicker. Be better. Because he needs to get out of that stance quicker. He simply does not. Mack's going to go around him, and he's in pursuit of Kyler Murray. And Kyler is going to do Kyler things. He does this twist around, run the other direction thing that, few quarterbacks are capable of doing. But Mack's going to do his best. He's trying, he's hunting him down. Eventually, Kyler's going to have to cave and throw this one out of bounds, throw it away, incomplete. This is a third down play. Khalil Mack making the stop on third down. He gets the pressure here. He forces Kyler out. He gets a little bit of help. You see Diane Henley there coming downhill and kind of closing off Kyler. But if Khalil Mack doesn't get the first step he does, if he doesn't beat his man around the edge, Kyler's able to sit in the pocket, maybe deliver a nice throw, considering the other guys on this team had a lot of trouble generating pressure against Arizona on Monday night. Just a great play by the old man. Just an awesome, awesome play. And I still can't believe he almost chased down Kyler Murray. That's pretty damn impressive. All right, we've got Mack lined up on the right side of the screen here. We're going to keep this one brief. Little run defense. You're going to see once this ball is snapped, they're running this ball to the left side. All the linemen are down blocking to the left, except for Beachum, whose job is to sell that that's what he wants to do and then cut back and wall off Mack. Mack's having none of that. Khalil Mack has no interest in his bullshit. You see really nice swim move there. He's going to get the initial placement on the elbow, bring his other arm over top, and try his best to pull off a swim. He pulls off a very successful swim move. Now, Beachum does get a little bit of a hand in there, but Mack's able to fight it off. It doesn't matter. You see, you did a good job as a defensive lineman or any type of pass rusher, run defender, whatever. If the guy who's blocking you turns around to face you, that's how you know you did a good job. He spun his ass all the way around. Now, all of a sudden, Beachum's got to try to deliver a different block. Connor, what's this cutback lane? Mack's in perfect position. You got a linebacker in perfect position here. It's kind of wraps for Connor at this point. Now, Mack doesn't get a great angle because Beachum does get a decent little shove there. But Connor, he's going to fight forward. He gets like 5 yards out of this because he is one of the toughest SOBs at running back in this sport. But, still really good run defense there. Against any other back, that's not a 5-yard gain. That's, probably stopped right about there. But, it is what it is. Regardless, good awareness, good play, good job manipulating the tackle on the outside and getting into the backfield there. All right, so remember the play earlier where Mack did a great job of closing off a lane and stonewalling, and then his teammates just couldn't finish the tackle behind the line, and it ended up being like a 5-6 yard gain. We're going to see another example of that where his teammates actually do their job. So we've got Mack on the left side here, and they're going to once again run to his side. You see Mack wide base here against the tackle. That's going to give him all the power here, all the leverage. Gets his hands on the inside of the chest. Just perfect stuff here from a fundamental standpoint. That's exactly what you want to do. Does a perfect job. So then you've got the pulling center here. He's going to come in and try to help this tackle out, push Mack back a little bit. Mack sees right through their bullshit. He's going to stand this tackle up, and wall off the center. So effectively here, Mack is holding his positioning against 2 linemen. Pretty damn impressive. So you're going to see this running back, Connor, presses close to the line here. Mack's going to see that and try to get a little bit of push here, push back on both linemen. Connor realizes he's going nowhere. Mack realizes Connor realizes this. So he's going to get around. He's going to try to get that arm tackle off. Not going to work. But luckily, you've got 2 different guys in position to make the play. So Mack closing off that outside is going to result in a loss this time instead of a 5-6 yard gain. And in fact, Mack does his damnedest to try to get back. He works his way back to the ball. And they're going to bring down Connor for a loss of, I believe, 2, but at least a loss of 1. But again, doing a great job there, holding his own against 2 different linemen, eating up space, closing off a lane. And that is going to allow his teammates to clean up and make a very much needed run stuff there. All right, this one I'm going to keep super short because it's not like the craziest feat or anything by Mack. You've got him lined up here on the left side. And the main reason I'm showing this is just because it's one of the few pressures that the Chargers were credited with, and Mack does get it. So it's worth noting. Right away, you see he fires off. He engages with the tight end here. The tight end is on a block and release, assignment. So he releases there. That leaves Mack one-on-one. Kyler rolling to his side. Kyler's going to locate a Michael Wilson here, breaking wide open against his zone. And he's going to be able to attack that. But because he knows he has Mack breathing down his neck, he's going to take a couple steps to the outside and make this throw a lot harder than it needs to be. Still completes it because Kyler is a very, very good quarterback. But, getting that pressure, forcing a quarterback to make a throw a little bit more difficult than it needs to be is a net positive. That's a win. All right, here we've got another really fun run defense rep. So again, Mack lined up as a wide 9 here on the outside of the tight end. He's going to have to sift through traffic and actually ends up getting to make the play here. This isn't another one where Mack sets somebody up. He gets the glory. He gets the stop. So let's go ahead and let this run. So right away, fires against the tight end. The tight end is just there to stun Mack a little bit and then move to the second level against this corner out here. So Mack does a good job of beating him. We got someone pulling across and then another guy pulling across that are both trying to kick out this outside to let James Conner get through. And Mack's going to do an awesome job. Engages with the first guy. Wide stance. Hand in the chest. He's going to be able to beat him pretty handedly. So you're going to see a nice little kind of preps himself and then just attacks. He's going to shoot through when he finds the first little crease he can, and he's going to get to the running back. He gets a little bit of help there on the backside to bring him down, but Mack absolutely makes this play. This wasn't even some crazy hand movement or anything like that. This was just a fuck it, I'm going for it, and he went for it and he got it. Just a really, really cool play. I love stuff like this. There are few things, in my opinion, in this sport more entertaining than a defensive lineman just saying fuck it and making a really impressive play like this in run defense. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right, this is one that I really debated putting in here because it's not exactly the best look for the Chargers defense. And a bit, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. It's better if I just show you. So this is the Kyler Murray touchdown run, but Mack does a really good job here as far as I'm concerned. So he fires off outside, and then again, like we saw in the first rep, there's a lot of green there. He's going to cut this back inside, try to beat the tackle to the inside. This tackle's a little bit ready for it, but it doesn't matter. Mack still wins this rep. You see the arm is about hooked there. One might say it's a holding. I would say that's a little much. But anyways, he's going to drive Mack inside. This is a nice play by the tackle, actually. Give him credit. I believe it's Paris Johnson. But he makes a nice play. Doesn't matter. Mack's still going. He's still trucking. He's still pushing through. Gets credited with the pressure on this rep. Drives Kyler Murray out of the pocket. And this is where the key lies right here. If Junior Colson, God love him. God love Junior Colson. I still think he's going to be a stud of a player. If he takes even a decent angle to this ball, we're in a much different situation. This ends up being a really good play by Mack to drive the quarterback out and, keep him to a limited gain. Instead, Junior Colson takes the worst angle imaginable, and Kyler Murray's off to the races. Mack chases him all the way down. Obviously, he's jogging there at the end because he's like, listen, I'm 33. I'm not catching his ass. I know I'm not going to pretend like I don't know I'm not catching him, but still, it's sad to see a good play like that by Mack be negated by a rookie moment. Because that's what this is. That's all it is. It's a rookie moment, right? He fell for the eye candy of the pump fake. Great play by Kyler. But, Mack did a hell of a job getting into the backfield and, really trying to get that pressure in there to force Kyler out. It's just like with that run play earlier in the game. The guys at the second level didn't really do their job that Mack was setting them up to do. All right, and our last two clips here are going to go together. They complement each other. Also, I apologize if my audio sounds a little bit different for these last two clips. I'm recording them at 3:30 in the morning because I recorded them early in the day, went to edit them, and there was no audio. So I unfortunately have to redo them. That being said, we've got Mack lined up here out wide on the left side. And he's going to do a hell of a job pulling off a bull rush here. So you see the tight end's going to go out on a route, which means Mack's 101 with Paris Johnson Jr. here, the second-year offensive tackle. Mack's going to attack the outside shoulder. Gets a really nice push in there. Paris Johnson's trying his best to set his feet. He's doing a solid job, but that is going to cause Mack to make Kyler Murray uncomfortable. Right? You see Kyler's going to leave his spot And anytime you make the quarterback uncomfortable, that is a win as a defensive lineman on it, obviously. So the hope here now, from what Mack has done, is that 95 is going to make a play, this linebacker is going to make a play, or Tuipulotu, excuse me, here on the right side is going to make a play. You want one of those guys to step up and make a play now that you've made the quarterback uncomfortable. Unfortunately, Kyler Murray is a magician, and that is a lot easier said than done. So instead, what's going to happen is Kyler's going to step up here between these two. You've got 95 pointing the wrong direction at this point, which means that now your hope is this linebacker who is fully engaged with a center one-on-one. Center does a good job of driving, or I'm sorry, I said that was a linebacker. That's a whole ass D lineman that was pushed upfield. I apologize. But regardless, this player up here, you want him to make a play. Looks like he's in position to make a play. Unfortunately, Kyler's drifting to the left. This lineman's drifting to the right. Not a good recipe. So instead, we're back to Mack. Kyler's going back into Mack's area of the field, right, his little zone over here. And Mack realizes this, so he is currently, if we rewind a little bit, mid-spin. You see, he's fully engaged here, hands in the chest of the tackle, which is great. He's the low man here. He has the leverage. He has what he needs. The tackle's standing straight up. So Mack is going to spin out. Tackle gets a little hand in there, you know. If you want to be a zebra, one could argue that maybe that should be a penalty, and the zebra is looking directly at it. But I digress. I'm not one to cry about holding penalties. But regardless, you see that happens. Unfortunately, Mack, being his old self, he cannot get a hold of Kyler. Kyler's going to scramble this out, and now Mack is looking at this, or at least from the perspective of someone in Mack's position, you're like, okay, you've got a one-on-one up here. Oh goodness, my pen just had a mind of its own. You've got a one-on-one here. You're hoping maybe the DB can make a play, or you have zero here. You have Diane Henley. Maybe he can come downhill and commit, make Kyler a little more uncomfortable, or he can drop back a little bit and maybe make a play on the ball in the air. Not saying an interception, but get a hand in there, mess up the trajectory of the pass. But unfortunately, Kyler's going to deliver a perfect ball across his body to Michael Wilson, past Diane Henley. You see that ball is not anywhere near him. So now you've got the one-on-one with the corner, and the corner is not going to be able to make a play. That's just a beautiful, beautiful throw by Kyler. An incredible play by the quarterback. Unfortunately, it's kind of out of Mack's hands at that point, but he does a hell of a job. The bull rush is great, holds his ground, keeps his eyes on the quarterback the whole time, tries to come back and make the play, can't quite do it himself, and it results in a first down completion, even though, like I said, Mack did everything he needed to on that play. And then our final play here, if we look back at the last play, we could consider that like the bad ending of Mack winning a pass rushing rep and not getting to the quarterback himself, right? Not getting a sack. This is the good ending. This is when everything comes together. Go ahead and I'll just let it play. You know, it's the last play. We can look at it a couple times. You see Mack's going to bull rush again. And this time throws Kyler off platform, or not off platform, but off his trajectory a little bit, and it winds up being an incompletion. So running it back, see, we've got Mack lined up out wide over top of the tight end. He's going to engage once again with Paris Johnson here on the left side of the line. See Mack attacks that inside. Instead of going for the shoulder, he just goes straight chest to chest. Looks like he's giving him a little smooch there almost. Kind of romantic if you really think about it. How can you not romanticize a good pass rush? But regardless, in all seriousness here, we've got Mack with his hands in the chest of the lineman. He's lower. He's getting drive. He's going to be able to push Paris Johnson back. It's a little bit of help here from Amari DiMercato, but it's not going to be enough. Mack continues to drive his man back pretty much into Kyler's lap. Kyler has to step to the left here, deliver a throw under pressure. Because of where Mack pushes, you've got 2 defenders right there. Mack is pushing him into pressure, directing him into pressure. So Kyler has to make this throw from a super wide and almost wonky base here. And it is going to end up being incomplete. This time the DB gets a chance to make a play on the ball, swats it out of Michael Wilson's hands. That's incomplete. Like I said, this is like the good ending of the last play. Bull rush, make Kyler uncomfortable. Ball's up in the air, DB makes a play. Because of Mack displacing his man, beating him off the line here, that results in Kyler having to throw this ball from a disadvantageous position a little bit earlier probably than he would have wanted to, just having to try to make something happen. puts the ball too high. It's incomplete. It's unfortunate because, like, obviously in an ideal world, looking at this, you'd probably want to be able to put this ball low so Michael Wilson would be the only one that can make a play on it. But he ends up tossing it up. It's incomplete. Lad McConkey over there. I don't know why I just noticed him, but Lad McConkey, what a guy. What a lad, if you will. But regardless, overall, good game from Mack. This is your outro. It was a hell of a game from Mack. Played really, really well. I know the Chargers defense wasn't anything to write home about, but I was definitely impressed with the old man coming out and showing these boys that he's still got it. It's not like he's had a quiet season or a slow season or anything. Chargers fans know he's pretty damn good at his job. And no disrespect to LA, I'm not like writing them off or anything, because I still think there's a world where they're like a playoff team, but it is kind of sad to see Khalil Mack, who's never really had a window to be on a true contender. You look back at the Raiders, obviously you had the 1 year with Derek Carr where his leg stopped being a functioning leg and their playoff hopes were killed, or their deep run hopes were killed. And then you had 2018 with the Bears with the double doink I still have nightmares about. And now this Chargers team kind of ushering into a retooling at the very least. It's just sad to see a guy like Mack, who's 33, you don't know how much good football he has left in him, let alone how much football he has left in him. And you just know, like, if he sticks with the Chargers, he's probably not going to retire with a ring, which sucks. It really breaks my heart to think about Mack not getting a ring before he retires. But hey, I would say he still had a Hall of Fame career. I think he's adding to it every week that he's on the field. He is my favorite edge rusher I have ever watched in this sport. I feel honored to have gotten to watch football with him being a dominant force. I feel especially honored to know that he played a couple years for my team. I love Khalil Mack. I just absolutely love Khalil Mack. If Khalil Mack has no fans, the MillerFootball channel is not uploading anymore because I am not of this earth. I absolutely love Khalil Mack. So seeing him put on a really solid performance on Monday Night Football, especially in a game where there weren't really a lot of notable things going on, it warmed my heart, and it made me really happy to finally be able to make a video and talk about how much I love Khalil Mack. But anyways, folks, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments what players I should be on the lookout for throughout the rest of this week. I want to post at least one more film breakdown. I kind of have an idea of who I'm going to talk about, but if you want to hit me with a wild card, I'm more than happy to take a look. And also let me know who should be on my radar for the rest of the season, right? Got the trade deadline coming up. Obviously, gonna have some film breakdowns revolving around that when it happens. Gonna have some a dedicated video about the trade deadline like I did last year. And of course, all my other usual content coming out. I'm posting this on Thursday. Tomorrow's Fullback Friday. You won't want to miss that. So make sure to subscribe so you stay up to date with all my latest uploads. You definitely won't want to miss what we got coming out if you like what I had to say in this video. And, above all else, I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it because you're all wonderful people and you truly do deserve it.
Had a chance on the throwback. This was an ill-advised throw. What an unbelievable catch by Khalil Mack. And he cups it too. No movement when he hits the ground, tucked up against his shoulder.
Wow, using that